There is a silent war going on in the city of Port Harcourt. Not kind of war fought with guns or fought over politics, but these wars are fought over lands. In the city of Port Harcourt, we see every week people losing millions, losing properties they spent their hard-earned money to acquire. Imagine spending your life savings acquiring a property and you wake up one morning to discover that all what you have legally acquired are nowhere to be found. The problem we are talking about in this video is the problem of land grabbing. Today, I'm going to be having a brutally honest conversation with one of Port Harcourt biggest developer, and we are going to be discussing this issue of land grabbing, what it is and how we can bring a lasting solution to the issue of land grabbing. Today I have with me the Chairman of Odibola Properties, Mr. Bolaji, and we are going to be discussing on the issues of land grabbing in the city of Port Harcourt. So it's nice to have you, Mr. Bolaji.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice having you too.
So we are going to be going straight into the discussion about land grabbing in the city of Port Harcourt, how this has affected the real estate market in the city of Port Harcourt, and how it has weakened investors' confidence in Port Harcourt. So we are going to be starting with the basis. When they hear land grabbing, a lot of people don't really understand what it is. So I would like you to throw more light into what land grabbing is all about, so that our audience can have an idea what land grabbing is all about.
Well, thank you for having me. You know, when you were doing your introduction, you talked about land grabbing as a pandemic in the city of Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
But I like the general public view to understand that land grabbing is not peculiar to Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Land grabbing is a thing that is all over the country. It happens in Lagos, it happens in Abuja, but for Port Harcourt, which is my own area of concentration today, it's something that I'm interested in. I think it is important for the public to understand what land grabbing is all about. Land grabbing is forceful takeover, an illegal takeover of properties or land belonging to community, or belonging to an individual or a family. You know, a forceful takeover, an illegal takeover. You know, when something is being taken by force without any legal backing. So that is in a clear terms, that is the word, that is the definition of land grabbing.
This land grabbing of a thing, is it something that is just starting in Port Harcourt, or has it been existing all this while, or is it just getting worse recently in Port Harcourt?
Well, in this video, we're not going to be mentioning names, and we're not going to be calling out people, because we want to actually have a good conversation.
Exactly.
And for the public interest. Land grabbing is not something that's just started recently. It's something that has been there. I found that a lot of people have been doing land grabbing in a smaller scale, where they go to sell people 1 plot of land, 2 plot of land. You know, when you go on those kind of land grabbing, it's not going to have the kind of, you know, attention land grabbing ought to have. So land grabbing has been there in a different way and in a different form. People have been doing land grabbing, going to take lands that does not belong to them, and communities too are involved in these things, where people they sell land, their father sell land, they go and dispossess the person their father sold to and say that their father didn't sell because no one can verify the signature. Those are also land grabbing and criminality.
You have been in this industry for the past 10 years. Can you walk us through how land grabbing, how it is being perpetuated, how they go about forcefully taking over properties that legally do not belong to them?
So land grabbers have different techniques. They have the techniques where they come and have an arrangement with you, and you claim that they have gotten the land 25, 30 years ago, more especially families who want to dispossess people of the land their father sold before they died, or families who connive with land grabbers in order to give the family land to someone else, and because of greed, because the purpose of all this is greed and covetousness, they want to convert what they don't own. So they prepare a document and backdate the document and act as if the person has bought the land before you. And at the end of the day, it becomes your word against their word. And even in the family, they will come and bear witness against the other rightful owners just to validate the whole issue, because if families does not support land grabbing cannot have its backing, that strong backing is having today. So that is one of the ways. But dating of documentation, that means fake documentation.
Okay.
They also have the one that they go to court, they have the judgment. Probably you have a judgment in point A, you are going to execute the judgment in point B and C. That's another way land grabbers operate. They know that this judgment does not actually cover this area, but because they have been empowered by the judgment, and they don't allow anybody to even look at that judgment, neither do they allow anybody to go to the Surveyor General to enable them, check the size of the land and quantity of the land they are taking. So they use those things as an opportunity to venture into other places. And that is why land grabbers come with violence, they come with intimidation, and they come with serious propaganda. So what you see as an attribute for land grabbers, the first thing they do, they arrest. So they put fear into you. They give you some charges that is unbecoming of something that you didn't do. They will just put it on your head. So these are the attributes of land grabbers. And the truth is that people knows land grabbers. We know their operations. We know how they act. But most times, because of how the society has become, we dodge our face as if we don't understand. And we start calling out genuine investors, people who are genuinely investing to grow the economy of the state, land grabber, which does not also help development. Because if you label genuine investors, you are scaring investors.
Exactly.
Because if investors are not protected in the state, you find out that more investors will not come because they feel that they are vulnerable. So they bring out fake documents. They have court judgment because there is no judgment that is fake. I can't tell you that a judgment from court is fake. I don't have that power to do that. So they have a valid judgment most times, but because of their greed, they exceed the judgment. They exceed the judgment. That is one of the way land grabber perpetrates their land grabbing.
As someone who have been in this industry for quite some time and you have had some experience, can you please share with us your personal experience with this land grabber, or an experience of somebody you know of, how they have related with land grabber and how they were able to handle such challenge?
Well, I don't think I will be qualified to talk about land grabbing if I have not had the experience, because experience most times it's what we actually operate with. When you have an experience, you now have the capacity to wage when such thing happen again. It's just like my experience recently with the community. You can see that because of my experience on how to tackle land grabbing activities, I was able to hold them down and tackle them. Because we are not in Banana Republic, like I tell people. If someone is so powerful that they can go into your property and take it, that means there is no law and order any longer. Now, one of my experience in land grabbing is the recent one about 2 years ago. A property I bought somewhere in Omike in Alo. I was in London when I was called that they are preparing to go and take over the property. I had to flee. I flew back and actually saw that they have already made all the arrangements, gone to deceive the court that they are trying to execute a judgment that have nothing to do with that property. The then Commissioner of Police too, Disu, was a huge help as regards that situation. He had to send some police to the place. They arrested some people who has dropped their machine in order to carry out that criminality, and that was how I overcome that one. I also had another one about 2019 in Iriebe, in a property we have there. Some criminals from another community, in Iriebe, that is sharing boundaries with Iriebe, they came claiming that the land we got was theirs, and that was how they were shouting all over the radio and all that. But because we usually do a proper due diligence, we are able to overcome them. One of the ways you overcome land grabber is to ensure that you do a proper due diligence before you acquire property, so that when you are standing against them and you go anywhere with them, it is easier for you to win. And another ways land grabber usually keep people down is by going to court with people's property. When they find out that you don't have access to your property, they take you to court. And when they take you to court, they delay you. So when you go into the land, they start shouting that you are coming into the land that is in court, whereas they purposely did that because they want to keep you hostage so that you will not make use of your property. And like I said, land grabbing is within these areas because people invite them to come and do grabbing by way of backdating documents, by way of them going to court to get court judgment and extending to other families and other areas. So we look at the Odibola, we look at the Eche, we look at the Ikoro local government. We also look at Oyibo, part of Oyibo. Land grabbing too is going on in those places. So it's a pandemic. It's a real pandemic that should be, taken care of now, because if we don't take care of it, the real estate business in Rivers State is booming. Exactly. And because it's booming, if that is not taken care of, it will discourage people from bringing their finance to come and invest into real estate in Rivers State. So and when that happens, there will be a setback in development in the state. And development is very, very crucial in order to help any advancement of government. Yes.
So now, from your explanation, are you trying to say that whenever this land grabbing is happening, that there must be an insider from the family or from the community that is working hand in hand with this land grabbers? Is that what you're trying to say?
Now, no land grabbing can actually work without the support from a family member.
Okay.
Now, when I mean a support from a family member, I'm talking about the real owners of land might own a land, and a family member might be greedy enough to sell them out by going to get land grabbers to come and grab the land from them. But there are cases where a family are involved even in land grabbing, and somebody from there is saying, I'm not interested in this thing any longer. We need development. Let us support the rightful owners of the land to take over their land so that there can be development. It's two things. The criminality is so much that communities are involved in land grabbing. That is the reality. There are lots of communities that are involved in land grabbing. Like I said, for the purpose of your video, I don't want to mention them. I like mentioning them so that I can be sued. And if I'm sued, I will have evidence. I can't call names that I'm not sure of. I've been attacked online, I've been attacked on radio, and my name was called by people who don't have the right to do so. And I'm suing. So if I call your name, I have an evidence. And if I have the evidence, you sue me, I will bring the evidence. And that is the truth, So land grabbing is being supported by families, it's being supported by communities. So the government setting a commission of inquiries will help in fishing out those in the communities that are the bad egg, aiding land grabbing in the community. And if there is a prosecution on them, and definitely these people are taken to prison or something, there will be deterrent. And like I said in one of my videos, I said land grabbing is also being supported by those who patronize them. Because when you patronize criminality, you are part of criminality. Because someone who is investing in a property ought to go and do due diligence to find out if that property is rightfully owned by the person giving you the property. So if you're not doing the due diligence and you are acquiring that property, it simply means you are an accomplice. You understand what you are acquiring. Sure. You can't say a property of 10 million is being sold to you for 2 million, you say that is a distress sale. You can't say a property of 100 million is being sold to you for 20 million, you say it's a distress sale. No. It simply means you are an accomplice. You know what you are going into. Yes, and that is why you see, even in most cases, the vendors are helping the buyers are helping the vendors to fight. How can you help your vendors to come and fight if you actually acquire the right property? Your vendors should be in the forefront of the fight to defend your title, because they gave you a property without encumbrances. You don't have any reason to stress yourself about the property. Yeah. So these are the things we are saying. So most of the buyers, petrolizers of land grabbers, ought to pay for that. The government also need to sanction them, so that land grabbing will not be lucrative for land grabbers. When you find out that you are not getting buyers, they are asking the right questions, you will have no reason to go and grab the next land, because it will not be lucrative for you.
There's an allegation that land grabbing business is booming in Port Harcourt because some real estate developers are patronizing land grabbers. How true is that?
Well, I must tell you the truth. Some real estate developers are actually patronizing land grabbers. That is the truth. But you know the truth too? The truth is that they are in the name of real estate, but they are actually criminals.
Exactly.
Criminality is criminality, whether you like it or not. If 2, 3, 4 developers is prosecuted for aiding land grabbing, not that developers will not aid land grabbing. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because if you are helping land grabbers to go and do land grabbing for you to sell the property to unsuspecting buyer because you have built trust and a platform that may not be questioned, then you should pay for it. And that is why we also tell people property is not cheap. It's the truth. Property is not cheap. No piece of land is cheap.
Exactly.
But it is cheap when you are buying it wrongly. Very, very cheap and affordable. So the government should set up a commission of inquiry, a task force that can combat land grabbing. By combating land grabbing, you can get the accomplices. If it is land real estate developer that is aiding or buying from land grabbers, you will surely know. And when that is known, how people are prosecuted, land grabbing will reduce drastically, I assure you.
Thank you so much for that.
What do you have to say about real estate companies that are grabbing properties belonging to their sister real estate companies?
That is the level of conspiracy. That's the level of conspiracy. That is why I say criminality is criminality. As a professional, I've been to a lot of places. I want to go and get a property, and I'm told that there is a real estate firm there, but he didn't pay the money he was supposed to pay, and he's owing the family, and the family want to sell back. I can't buy that kind of property. I can't eat such thing. In business, there are ups and there are downs. The real estate development too is not easy for us because the banks are not giving money.
Sure.
And even if the bank gives you money, you cannot meet up with their demands. So some persons are muscling it. It's not easy for them. So if they are opportune to have an agreement with the family and they are not meeting up that agreement, it's not because they are not meeting up. It's the environment. It's just like what you're seeing today about communities calling genuine developers land grabbers. Who will come and invest in such developer? If you don't have the integrity that can ward off those kind of accusations, you may not sell the way you have planned. And if you have an obligation to meet up with a payment, how can you meet up? It is the sales that enables you meet up with the payment. So most of the developers don't meet up with the payment because of this situation. And when their fellow developers goes to buy this property, they see these things and they take advantage of it. Because they feel that, it's not their fault. Someone has called them. So it's like dog eating dog. And that is what a lot of people are practicing. That is not professional. Once you come in for a property, a developer is on top, or a developer is already working on, or a developer has paid part of the money and is interested in it. No, I'm not there. I'm not there. And you can attest to this in Port Harcourt. A lot of developers will tell you that when it comes to Odibola, he's not interested in any property anybody has paid for. Whether you did not meet up for anything, it's not my business. I'm not interested because a colleague is already on that property. That colleague owing is because he's not meeting up with sales. And the only way he can meet up with sales is when there is sales. If you check the rate at which property is sold in Port Harcourt compared to Lagos and Abuja, you know it's child's play. We are just joking. And the reason is because who is ready to invest? People are scared. And that is why we are doing estate with infrastructure now, in order to want people to come and invest and have that security. Because when there is no infrastructure, there is fear that anything can happen tomorrow. And that is what we are saying.
My next question is, what roles are community leaders, youth leaders, and the government, what role are they playing as regards to the issue of land grabbing? Or is it that they are enabling it in a way, or are they fighting against it?
Well, I think one of the things the community leaders should be doing is sensitizing their youth in the community, making them understand the implication of land grabbing. It slows development.
Exactly.
When there is land grabbing, people don't go to that community to invest. So that means development will be slow. And when development is slow, the youth are not engaged. And when the youth are not engaged, they resort to drugs. And when they resort to drugs, the community is full of junkies. And that is why I see a lot of community that is involved in this land grabbing today. When you go there, you see a lot of their youth are not engaged because nothing is happening in that community. Now, in the area of the government, the reason the government need to support the fight against land grabbing is that it denies them revenue. When people build, they go for approval from the local government and from the state government. And when that is done, the government accrued, revenue for themselves. So you can imagine where it's supposed to be developed is not developing. Government is losing revenue.
Exactly.
So these are the reasons why the government also need to be part of this fight that has to do with land grabbing. And nobody fights it better than the government. No one individual can fight land grabbing except the government. Because the governor is the chief security officer of the state. And he has all the powers and all the capacity to fight land grabbing. There is nobody who will call that cannot answer him. The government have the capacity.
Yes,
and don't forget, land is vested in the state government.
Yes.
So if you are not even complying, the government have the power to revoke that property. So that is how powerful the government is. And that is why we say the government should be involved in the fight to give the fight a face so that this state can develop. So these are the reasons why we are calling and begging on the government, led by Seminary Fubara, Your Excellency, sir, raise committees and task force that can fight land grabbing. Because we are suffering, we that are investing here, we talk so much before people patronize. If not for the integrity we have built over time, people are scared, the aspirant are scared. But if they hear today that there is a land grabbing committee organized by the government of Rivers State, I assure you, you have solved the problem of land grabbing by 70%, because nobody will have the balls to go and grab land, knowing that you'll be prosecuted, knowing that you'll be jailed. When you investigated, you can't, you won't. Nobody wants to go to jail.
They know that the government is involved.
Thank you. Even the police that people usually say supports them, the police officer that will come and support them will be careful. Exactly. When the governor is involved, the tax force from the governor. Exactly. So we encourage the government to set up such task force. And when such task force is also set up, developers or 1 or 2 developers should be part of it.
Now, the written video you did, the written video you posted on Facebook, and you talk about a particular property that property have been in contention. People have been fighting over that property. Some have even lost their life because of that property. And recently, you said that property, the government have paid for that property in the past, and that property belongs to the government. And I am aware that there are different real estate companies that have been there before now.
Are we there? Were we there?
No, you are not there. I know that there are different real estate companies that have been there before government now come in now and handed over that property to a particular developer.
Yes.
Now I want to ask, there's nobody that can do due diligence better than this real estate developer. Because they commit that time and investor. Maybe I invest 2 million, 3 million, 5 million in a property. A developer is investing billions into that property. So looking at the fact that they are investing more, so it is supposed that they are going to...
They should be more knowledgeable.
More due diligence. So how come that real estate companies that should be ahead in the issue of due diligence, how come that these years before government step in, they are selling properties that originally belongs to government?
It is actually a shame. It is a shame. And that is why I tell you that when these collaborators are being prosecuted, there are a lot of things that will stop. You made mention of free estate being in support of land grabbing, and I told you yes, pump and plain. The reason is because that same land, let us mention the name Taft City, is on that land today.
Exactly.
In collaboration with the Rivers State government. Yes, it's a PPP investment program.
Exactly.
And one thing I told people is that if you do your due diligence right, you will know the truth.
Sure.
But if you are covetous, you will not go deeper. I was called on those properties. I did my due diligence. I bought around there. My property is secured. That is where you will know how deep I go with my due diligence.
Exactly.
That most of these real estate firms that went there, they went there out of greed that the property is affordable. And that is one of the things we usually say. Now, you are in a government land. Government have bought more than 20 years ago. You couldn't do your due diligence to find out that land belongs to government. We have the Greater Port Harcourt Authority that have the master plan of those areas. We have the urban development. We have the Surveyor General Office. We have all these government parastatals that you can go and do your verification. In the area that is covered by Greater Port Harcourt, that is what we call chart approval. Before you get a property in this area, it is important for you to chart it, to know if it falls into government land or if there are other encumbrances that will affect you tomorrow, like expansion of road in future and other things. So once you go to Greater Port Harcourt, you must surely discover this. But when you are cutting corners, you don't go through the right channels. And that is what you see happen in that area. And that same area is an area where the people that are making noise today, saying that Odibola bought their property, also were fighting. They were fighting seriously in those areas. So how come you are fighting in a property that belongs to the government? So you can see that communities support land grabbing. Communities encourages land grabbing. And because they have much power to resist and, call names, it is easy for you to believe them if you're not careful. So that area is government property bought from Port Harcourt 20-something years ago. Acquired, paid for, fully. But you see some developers were there. So what is the problem? They didn't do due diligence. Is that what you think? They did. They felt the government will no longer come. There are a lot of government property people are occupying today, and they feel government will no longer come. So when government come tomorrow, they also come and, hey, they've killed us, oh, they've carried our property, oh, government is intimidating us. So these things happen everywhere.
They will not be calling government.
They will not be calling government, but you have the opportunity to go and do the right thing, to do the due diligence, to find out everything about this property.
What do you advise investors to do? Because we see that a lot of people that are buying properties in Port Harcourt, in some of these upcoming areas, after buying, they come back to discover that someone has taken over their land. So, what do you advise these people who are interested in the Port Harcourt real estate market and who genuinely have that interest to invest in Port Harcourt? What do you advise them to do so that they will not fall victim of this land robbers?
Well, the thing is that when it comes to land purchase, due diligence is the key. Due diligence gives you the opportunity to discover any hidden thing. And if you're too busy, you cannot do it. You can meet a reputable developer like Odibola Properties who can help you out to carry out the due diligence. You can meet a genuine lawyer to also carry out the due diligence for you and give you a proper report, of you going ahead to buy that property. So for me, when you go through your due diligence, you can discover anything. If you can't do it, get a professional to do it. That is just what I will encourage investors. And when you do your due diligence and it gives you clarity, do that transaction, nothing will happen.
Now, there are a lot of people who have lost confidence in investing in Port Harcourt because of some of these issues. They have lost confidence because in some cases they have invested in some areas and they were affected with this issue of land grabbing. What do you have to say to them to restore their confidence in the Port Harcourt real estate market?
Buy property from reputable developers. The developers that have a name, that have an address, that has been in the business. Look at their reputation, invest with them. Your property is secure because you have people to chase if anything happens. Don't go to quacks. Don't buy property from locals. Go to developers because your property is secure. They may be more expensive, but buy from them. You are not just buying the property, you are buying security. And you are buying return on investment. So for me, that is my advice. There is no point being discouraged. We all know the right thing to do. Can anybody stand on the road and allow a car to jam the person?
No.
So if you see a car jamming somebody, it will be by mistake.
Sure.
So that the car jam you by mistake, will you stop crossing the road?
No.
So that is the situation.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Mr. Bolaji. Thank you so much for the knowledge that you have shared so far on the issue of land grabbing in the city of Port Harcourt. You have shared it from a deep side of experience because you have been into this. You have been affected in one way or the other.
Yes.
As regards to land grabbing, and from your wealth of experience, you have been able to share with our audience what you know about land grabbing and how this issue can be adequately combated. So I want to say this to each and every one of you watching this right now. Just like he have rightly said, if you want to buy property and get it right, buy from a reputable real estate developer.
Yes.
although their properties might be more expensive,
But
you are certain that if you're buying from a reputable developer, that your property is going to be secure. It is not as if these developers, it's not as if they don't pass through, they don't have their own challenges. They do. But when they go through these challenges, they fight in your interest to make sure that they protect your interest and the interest of everybody who are invested with them. So thank you for watching this video till this moment. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do well to subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell notification so you can be notified when we post videos like this, and please make sure you share this video to whoever you know who is interested in investing in the Port Harcourt real estate market, so that they are going to be informed about what is happening in Port Harcourt and how they can be better protected when investing in the city of Port Harcourt. Till I come your way next time, my name is Chris Asika.
Thank you very much.